We're just waiting on a few members to join. I see we have 3. We're waiting for Joe Rico. And Melinda's there.
Rosie, Anthony.
I'm here.
Anthony, how are you, kid?
Good. How are you?
Hey, fine. Melinda, everything all right? Atta girl. How you doing, Wayne?
I'm good, Anthony. Yourself?
Good.
Good.
So we're just waiting on Joe, and we'll just give him a few more minutes and then we'll get started.
Michelle,
Yes,
I'm a little confused. The Zoom invitation said 1:30. And
at 1:30, but I put on there the actual hearing itself starts at 2 or shortly thereafter. We have to key in and get connected and everything else, so they don't give it to you in 15-minute increments.
got it. Thank you. Just so I know going forward.
So you don't have to sit there for a half hour.
Yeah, that's right. I get tired of talking to myself.
Last one, the tight up in court too, so. No, I know, but last time he was on a court call.
Call. Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing there too.
A lot of places.
Yeah. They got one half of the courthouse all. Not unless we have some problem to break to. Judge Benny just. He died.
Well, I think, Mr. Chair, do you want to move forward and Joe Greco will join us?
When he can. Read.
He's on the phone because he was caught on the phone the last time.
Okay. I'm ready, Michelle. Call the meeting to order.
Thank you. Mr.
It
Chair, I'll
is,
note a quorum present.
Okay.
I've not had any disclosure.
Disclosure. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't see any. Mr. Chair, if I could have a motion for the minutes of the July 28th hearing.
I'll move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Arthur. Can someone second them, please?
I'll second.
Thanks, Wayne.
I have
All
a
in
couple
favor?
before they're approved, I have a couple of comments.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
In the minutes, Joe is shown as both absent and present.
Michelle, he didn't join us at all at that time? Did he not?
I don't believe so.
He was going to chair that meeting and Arthur took the chair piece.
Yes,
He didn't.
He came in after we shut, as we were shutting down. But
Okay,
I'll
all right.
clarify that in the minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
One more thing, Anthony, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
Where Greco is referred to in the minutes, we should put an initial, either J or W, so we.
Yeah, that's a good point, Wayne. Actually, that's an excellent point.
Okay.
And I'll make note of that as well. And it is always shown as a W or a J, but our new system keeps kicking it out on me. So I will make that correction on the final draft.
Well, you can give us numbers if you want. I don't, some reference.
There. Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor, I believe now we're good. Thank you, Wayne, for the corrections. Michelle, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Chair, we can move on to the first matter on our agenda. And Dr. Fabro is there.
Yeah.
The application is A3221. Dr. John Fabro is the applicant, owner of 270 Pine Shore Drive. It's located on the southerly side of Pine Shore Drive and abuts St. Mary's River. The subject property is designated rural area in the official plan and is zoned R1 estate residential and parks and rec. The intent of the application is to seek relief from the provisions of bylaw 2005-150 as amended to facilitate the construction of a 5.48 meter by 6.7 meter by 7.46 meter detached garage by increasing the permitted garage height. Specifically, sections 9.5.3.2, maximum height for accessory buildings is 6 meters. The applicant is seeking to increase that height for a detached garage to 7.45 meters. Notice of public hearing was sent by personal mail to neighboring properties and by posting a sign on site. And I had nothing come in from that circulation. Technical review was done by planning staff, engineering services, legal department, conservation authority, Algoma Public Health, and they had no comments or objections. Planning staff recommended that windows be prohibited on the east wall of the proposed second story. Further, that the applicant maintain the existing tree line to the east. Conservation Authority advised that the area is under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Authority with regard to Ontario Regulation 17606, development interference with wetlands and alterations to shoreline and water courses. Any development will require a permit from the Conservation Authority. Committee's considerations, there are no objections to the request. As a condition of approval, planning staff have requested that windows be prohibited on the east wall of the second story of the proposed garage. And those are my submissions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Michelle. Dr. Fabro, do you have anything you'd like to add to Michelle's comments and reading into the record?
Just the windows to the east. We were going to have a window on the east side. Is that an issue that can be addressed and still proceed with the height issue?
Dr.
So, go
Fabro,
ahead, Michelle.
planning staff have said that they can support the height provided there's no windows on that side.
Okay. So I assume there's a concern for one reason or another?
Privacy.
Privacy, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, especially if that's the only way we can proceed, unless there's a venue to address it.
It has been the committee's policy when you're asking for a height increase similar to what you're requesting to include the condition, no windows on that side, both for your privacy and your neighbor's privacy.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I mean, if that's a condition, that's fine. Save me some money, actually. The other thing is, we're asking for the height increase, but I don't know if they have the dimension of the build correctly there. I know Nick Jobst is my contractor and did all the paperwork for me. Was there a plan submitted with that at all?
There was, and it indicated garage being the measurements that are quoted in the
Oh,
application.
okay. I mean, it just seemed different to me, but if that's the case, that's fine. Okay.
Do you think it's larger or smaller?
What are the dimensions that says again?
5.48 meters by 6.7 meters by 7.46 meters being the height.
Yeah. No, the height's correct. I'm just not sure about the length by width.
Michelle, does it agree with what was submitted?
Yeah, because that's,
Sorry, go ahead.
I believe that's existing. I think we're going a little bigger with the garage, but it was the height his concern was about.
Well, that's how he describes the application. Now, yeah, that's how the application is described, but Dr. Fabro, we can consider putting into the decision to reflect the site plan submitted.
Okay,
And provided it's not too far off,
okay,
we're still good to go.
okay, very good. Yeah, and I could live with no windows on the east side.
Any questions from committee members to Dr. Fabro? Concerns?
Mr. Chairman, I will move that we approve the application with the conditions.
Okay, thank you, Arthur. Can I have a seconder? Thank you, Wayne. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Dr. Fabro.
Thank you.
You don't have to remain on the meeting, sir, if you don't want to.
Oh, great. I can get back to work.
Ah,
Thank you very much.
welcome.
Okay, so moving along to our next application is application A3321. It's an application from Walmart Canada. And Rob Walker and Kelly Boysen is here representing Walmart interests in this application. I will ask, though, that the committee, after hearing this matter number 2 on your agenda, we'll move to here number 6 and number 9 because they're all related. Tab 6 and number 9, so they're all related, and we don't tie up these folks all afternoon. So moving on in that vein, Walmart Canada is the registered owner of 446 Great Northern Road. It's located on the east side of Great Northern Road, approximately 185 meters north of its intersection with Second Line East. The subject property is designated commercial in the official plan and is on C4S 249 general commercial zone with a special exception and is subject to site plan control. Relief is requested from the provisions of bylaw 2005-150 as amended by permitting full turn movements from the subject property onto Great Northern Road with the activation of the new signalized intersection. Specifically, section 249.3 of bylaw 2005-151 stipulates that no vehicular left turns are permitted from the subject property onto Great Northern Road. The applicant seeks to permit vehicular left turns from the subject property onto Great Northern Road. Again, notice of the public hearing was sent by personal mail, by posting sign on site, and by publishing it on the city website. I had no response as a result of that circulation. As part of the application review, this proposal was circulated to internal departments and external agencies for their review. Planning staff, engineering services, legal department had no comments or objections. Conservation Authority advised it is not in an area under their jurisdiction. For the committee's consideration, there is now a signalized intersection which can accommodate full turn movements from the Walmart lands. If easement applications B19, 21 and B24, 21 are approved, a more convenient access to Great Northern Road through the Walmart lands will be provided to both southerly adjacent properties, and the left turn restriction will no longer be required, hence the application. There are and I've had no objections to the applications. And those are my submissions, Mr. Chair, for the minor variance A3321.
Michelle, thank you. Mr. Walker, Ms. Foyson, do you have any other things you'd like to add to the comments made by Michelle?
Mr. Chairman, no, I think that's fairly straightforward. So I think everything's in the report. And unless
Okay,
there's any questions, we're here to answer them.
Committee members, any questions with respect to Mr. Walker, Ms. Foyson, with respect to this application?
Pretty straightforward, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, can I have a mover then for the application, please? Thank you, Melinda.
I'll
Seconded.
move, yep.
Thank you. Seconded by,
All second.
thank you, Arthur. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Michelle?
Bringing you down to item 6 on your agenda. Again, an application from Walmart Canada, B1921. I won't go into the description of the property that Walmart Canada owns. I'll simply say, subject to the approval of minor variance application A3321, which you just approved. The applicant is seeking the committee's consent to convey an easement for right-of-way purposes over the existing driveway off Great Northern Road, being approximately 20.12 meters wide and being approximately 68 meters in length, in favor of the lands to the south known as 438 Great Northern Road and 432 Great Northern Road. The intent of the easements is to allow for access egress for visitors to 438 Great Northern Road and visitors to 432 Great Northern Road so that they can use the new signalized intersection. Again, no public response. Planning staff, engineering services, legal, conservation authority, and public works had no objections. The proposed easement would allow visitors to 438 Great Northern Road and visitors to 432 Great Northern Road under application B2421 to make use of the new signalized intersection, thereby providing for improved southbound movements onto Great Northern Road. There are no other comments or objections to the request. Customary conditions for applications of this nature will be part of any approval, that being transfer deed of land being easement, certificate application fee, reference plan, and a PIN abstract. And those are my submissions on number 6, item number 6, Walmart application B1921.
Thank you, Michelle. Mr. Walker, Ms. Boyson, again, any other things you'd like to add to Michelle's
No.
comments? You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any committee members, any questions with respect to this part of the applications? If none, can I get a mover and a seconder, please, with the customary conditions? Wayne, thank you.
Anthony, I'll move and be approved.
Thank you, sir. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Arthur, that's your hand? Okay, I'll take Arthur. Thank you, Arthur. All in favor? With the conditions? Carried.
Mr. Chair, I'll draw the committee's attention to item 10 on your agenda. That being an application, Superior Home Bakery 1983 Inc. is the owner. The application is B2421. The property is 438 Great Northern Road. It is, again, an easement, consent to convey an easement for right-of-way purposes over across the rear portion of the subject property, being approximately 6.9 meters wide and being approximately 32.5 meters in length, in favor of the lands to the south known as 432 Great Northern Road. The intent of the easement is to allow for access egress for visitors to 432 Great Northern Road over the subject property and onto the Walmart driveway so that they can use the new signalized intersection. Again, no comments or objections to the applications. Engineering and Construction Division reviewed the application and provided the following. Our files indicate a number of historical drainage complaints, early 1990s, about the ditch at the rear of this property. Due to the lack of recent complaints, it appears that the issue was resolved. The owner should be aware of this as they plan the new entrance. Considerations: the proposed easement would allow visitors to 438 Great Northern Road, being application B1921, and 432 Great Northern Road, being this application, to make use of the new signalized intersection, thereby providing for improved southbound movement onto Great Northern Road. There are no other objections or comments to the request. Customary conditions again for this application would be transfer deed of land easement, certificate application fee, reference plan, and PIN abstract. And those are my submissions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Michelle. Once again, Mr. Walker, Ms. Boyson, any comments with respect to what Michelle read into the record? None? Okay. Committee members, any questions, concerns?
I just
Okay.
point out, Mr. Chair, that Sam Biasucci was the agent representative on this application. He's in Toronto and he's available by phone if we would have had any questions.
Well, thank you, Michelle.
I
Committee
just
members?
I had one question just to clarify. There were no conditions for the drainage that we had to put on, right?
No,
It just was a
advised-
comment?
Yeah.
Okay,
And it seems to have been corrected.
okay. Well, I will move then with, just based on the transfer
Thank you,
and
Melinda.
everything.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Thanks, Wayne. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Mr. Walker, Ms. Voisin, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, moving on to the balance of our agenda. I'll take you back to item 3 on the agenda. And that would be an application from Carlo and Giovanna Gervasi, application A3621. The subject property is 51 Sunset Drive. The subject property is designated rural area in the official plan and is zoned R1 estate residential and is subject to site plan control. Relief is requested from the provisions of bylaw 2005-150 as amended to facilitate the construction of a 7.83 meter by 8.53 meter detached garage prior to the erection of the main building. Specifically, section 9.1.2, no accessory building shall be constructed prior to the erection of the main building. And the applicant seeks to permit a detached garage to be constructed prior to the erection of the main building. Again, notice of public hearing was sent by personal mail to neighboring properties by posting a sign on site and by publishing it on the city website. No comments resulted from that circulation. As part of the review, it was circulated to internal departments and external agencies. Planning staff, engineering services, legal department, and Algoma Public Health had no comments or objections. Sault Ste. Marie Conservation Authority advised that it's not in an area under their jurisdiction. Similar applications of this nature have been approved, conditional upon limiting any approval to 2 years. There are no objections to the request, and I can tell you that the applicant, Mr. Gervasi, is satisfied with the condition of limiting it to 2 years.
Thank you, Michelle. And Mr. Gervasi is not here to speak to any of the application or anything?
No.
Okay.
I will move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Committee members, and yet no questions, I'm assuming. Motion on the floor to move the application. Can I have a seconder? With the condition stipulated. Thank you, Wayne is the seconder. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you. Moving forward to item 4 on your tab 4 on your agenda, and that would be application A3721, an application from Dante Carlasaccio. He's the registered owner of 108 White Pine Court, and again, Mr. Carlasaccio is not participating today. The subject property is designated rural area in the official plan and is zoned R1 estate residential and is subject to site plan control. Relief is requested from the provisions of bylaw 2005-150 as amended to facilitate the construction of a 7.32 meter by 7.32 meter detached garage prior to the erection of the main building. Again, section 9.1.2 says no accessory building shall be constructed prior to the erection of the main building. The applicant seeks to permit a detached garage to be constructed prior to the erection of the main building. Notice of public hearing was sent by personal mail, by posting a sign on site, by publishing on the city website, and I had no response from that circulation. The circulation to internal departments and external agencies, planning staff, engineering services, legal department, conservation authority, and Algoma Public Health had no comments or objections. Conservation Authority advised that it is under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Authority, and any development will require a permit from the Conservation Authority. Again, for your consideration, similar applications of this nature have been approved conditional upon limiting any approval to 2 years, and there are no objections to the request. And those are my submissions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Michelle. Committee members, any questions or concerns or comments with respect to the application? Would someone like to move it with the conditions as stipulated? Thank you, Wayne, seconded by Melinda. All in favor, please? Carried.
Thank you. So we'll move now to tab 5, and that would be application A3821, an application from Kathleen McQueen, Meg McQueen, and Mitch McQueen, owners of 413 Sunnyside Beach Road. The subject property is designated rural area in the official plan and is zoned R1 estate residential. Relief is requested from the provisions of bylaw 2005-150 as amended to facilitate the proposed construction of a 5 meter by 6.09 meter by 5 meter detached garage by reducing the southerly side yard requirement. Specifically, section 9.5.3.1 requires a minimum other interior side yard of 3.5 meters. The applicant seeks to reduce the other interior side yard to 1.52 meters for the proposed detached garage. Notice of public hearing was sent by personal mail, posting on site, publishing on city website, no response. As part of the application review, this proposal was circulated to internal departments and external agencies for their review. Planning staff, engineering services, legal department, fire services, Sault Ste. Marie Region Conservation Authority, and Algoma Public Health had no comments or objections. Engineering staff advised that their files indicate that there is a ditch along the east property line. The construction of a garage should not interfere with the function of the ditch. Sault Ste. Marie Region Conservation Authority advised that it would require a permit from the Conservation Authority. They don't object to the application. Engineering comments are an advisement to the applicants, to which Fred McQueen, agent for the applicants, advised by email that the ditch has been kept open and graded towards the lake as per their plan. There were no other objections to the application, and those are my submissions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Committee members, any questions or concerns with respect to the application?
Mr. Novak, I'll move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, just a question to Michelle on the advisement of the drainage part, Michelle? Just advisement by engineering?
Just an advisement, Mr. Chair, not a request for a condition.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, Arthur, is there a motion to accept? Seconder, please. Thank you, Melinda. Firsted by Arthur, seconded by Melinda. All in favor, please? And carried.
We've done tab 6. We'll move to tab 7. Application B2121. An application from Ronald Hazard and Janice Morley, owners of 2917 Baseline. It is located on the southeast corner of Baseline and Wallside Road. It is designated rural area in the official plan and is zoned RA rural area. The applicant is requesting the committee's consent to sever and convey a southerly parcel fronting on Wallside Road, being approximately 46.72 meters by 191.9 meters by 0.84 hectares in size. The intent of the application is to create one additional rural area lot for future rural residential development purposes. The retained land will be approximately 3.87 hectares in size. Again, notice of public hearing was issued by personal mail, posting site, publishing on the website, no response from that circulation. As part of the application review, this proposal was circulated to internal departments and external agencies for their review. Planning staff, engineering services, the legal department, conservation authority, and public works had no objections. Engineering and construction division has reviewed the above application and provided the following. There is no sanitary servicing in this area. Any septic system shall be to the satisfaction of Algoma Public Health. Culvert permit will be required for a new entrance. Conservation Authority advised that it's not under their jurisdiction. Considerations for the committee, there's no objections to the request. Proposed lot creation satisfies official plan policies and the zoning bylaw. Customary conditions for lot creation to be attached, such as submission of a transfer deed of land, park levy, certificate application fee, reference plan, PIN abstract, discharge of mortgage, and up-to-date tax report. And those are my submissions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Michelle. No one to comment on the application, Michelle?
Nope.
Okay. Committee members, any questions or concerns with respect to the application?
Pretty straightforward, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, may I have someone as to motion for, please, for acceptance?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Melinda. Seconder?
I'll second.
Thank you, Wayne. All in favor with conditions, and stipulations? Thank you. Carrie.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8 on your agenda, and Heather Perry is in attendance on the application. Hi, Heather. Welcome to our hearing. The subject property, the application is B2221. The subject property is 512 Old Wooded Bay Road. Dwayne LeVar is the owner, registered owner of 512 Old Wooded Bay Road, and Miss Perry is here as agent, and I believe Mr. LeVar is with her. Yeah, okay.
Hello there.
There we go.
Subject property is designated rural area in the official plan and is zoned RA rural area and EM environmental management. The applicant is seeking the committee's consent to sever and convey a 61 meter by 150.6 meter by 0.81 hectare parcel fronting on Old Gooley Bay Road for existing rural residential purposes. The intent of the application is to create one additional rural area lot for future development purposes. The retained land will have broken frontage and will be approximately 14.8 hectares in size. Notice of public hearing was issued by personal mail and by posting a sign on site. The owner of 555 Old Gooley Bay Road emailed support of the application as a result of that circulation. As part of the application review, this proposal was circulated to internal departments and external agencies for their review. Planning staff, engineering services, the legal department, conservation authority, and public works had no objections to the request. Engineering and construction division has reviewed the application and provided the following. There are outstanding sanitary sewer connection fees to the sanitary sewer system, which is calculated based on frontage and number of sewer laterals. There is an existing lateral for the house and the remaining property will require new laterals. Also, a 3 meter road widening across the frontage is required if it has not already been taken. Sault Ste. Marie Region Conservation Authority advised that any development of the subject property or the severed property will require a site plan review and may require a permit. Considerations for the committee, there are no objections to the request. However, some comment in the agency approvals were conditional. Proposed lot creation satisfies official plan policies in the zoning bylaw. Customary conditions for lot creation will also be attached, such as submission of transfer deed of land, park levy, certificate application fee, reference plan, PIN abstract, discharge of mortgage, up-to-date tax report, payment of outstanding sanitary sewer connection fees. And those are my submissions, Mr. Chair. And again,
Thank you.
Ms. Perry is here to speak to the application.
Thank you. Mr. Perry,
Ms. Perry?
any, oh, sorry. Any comments you'd like to add? My apologies, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I do have a question in regards to the 3 meters on Old Gooley Bay Road. Would that be considered like a compensation for like an expropriation of the land if you're taking 3 meters from the property?
Can I speak to that, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Michelle?
Bylaw has a 3 meter road widening that's required on the property. If you were to construct on that property, you cannot use that as your frontage. It's an addition to your setback. If you're requesting consent, the city will take it as part of the condition of consent.
Okay.
Now, the condition also says if it's not already been taken. A survey will reveal if it's already been taken or not. If it's already been taken, we won't take it again.
Okay.
If only a portion of it's been taken, we will take the rest of it. So the survey will let us know if, what, and where it has or does not have to be taken.
Okay, excellent. And I have one other question, if I may, in regards to the city sewerage. If that amount has not already been paid in the past, I understand that a new severed parcel of land has to be hooked up. It's mandatory to be hooked up to we cannot keep the existing sanitary system, the septic tank.
The existing system services the existing home, right?
Right, correct.
Right. We won't make you take that down or hook up. It would have to hook up to city services if it fails.
Okay. Okay, okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Committee members, any questions, concerns?
I will move, Mr. Chairman. We approve.
Thank you. Seconded, please, with the conditions and stipulations,
Yep.
right? A seconder, thank you, Melinda.
As long as the.
All in favor?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, as long as the applicants are in favor, as Michelle has conveyed to them what is required, I'm happy with that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Ms. Perry, sorry.
So before you go, You will get a written decision early part of next week,
Okay,
maybe sooner if I can get it done, and it'll be emailed to you. And it'll outline the conditions that have to be met for the severance. You have 1 year from the date that email goes out to complete that. It can be completed before then, but you have up to 1 year to complete it. If it's not completed within that 1 year, it's as if it was refused and you would have to apply again.
okay, understood. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, Mr. Chair, we've considered number 9, so that's the balance of our agenda.
Okay,
We've completed the business.
thank you. Any comments from any? I will ask for an adjournment, a motion to adjourn.
I will move, we adjourn. I want to say well done, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you, Arthur.
But-
Uh,
but-
Motion by Arthur, seconded by Wayne. I'm sure all in favor. All in favor and carried. Thank you.
Did you hear what I said, Anthony?
Yes, sir.
I said, congratulations with the fine assistance of our Secretary Treasurer.